Weekend, you are alone at home, total silence. And instead of feeling peace, you feel that emptiness in your chest. That restlessness that makes you grab your phone just to have something happening. You scroll the feed, watch whatever, snack without hunger. Anything to avoid being alone with your own thoughts. And when the night comes, you realize you spent the whole day busy but completely empty. Look, I know exactly what that is. That feeling that everyone is living something while you are standing still. That loneliness is not a choice, it's a punishment. That there's something wrong with you for not being able to deal with your own silence. But there's nothing wrong with you. You just never learned to transform loneliness into a fortress. And that is exactly what separates common men from rare ones. Subscribe now if you are tired of using distraction to escape from yourself, because what comes next will show you why living alone is silently destroying your mental peace and how to turn this game around. In 10 minutes, you will have the exact method the Stoics used to transform isolation into personal power. It's not about learning to like loneliness. It's about using it to forge a mind that no one can break. But first, you need to understand the fatal mistakes you're making every day without realizing it. Living alone is a constant test. When there is no one to pressure you, to see you, to validate you, that's when you discover who you really are. And most people don't like what they find. That's why they fill their lives with noise, with people, with distraction. Anything to avoid confronting the internal silence. But here is the first brutal truth. The more you run from loneliness, the more dependent you become on others. You start needing external validation to feel complete. You need messages, likes, company, and then your peace becomes hostage to things you don't control. Do you know that emotional neediness that tightens your chest, that need to have someone nearby just to not feel alone? That's not love, it's dependence. And emotional dependence is a silent prison that steals all your freedom. Psychology studies show that people with high emotional dependence are 3 times more likely to enter toxic relationships. Because when you are desperate not to be alone, you accept any crumb of attention. And who notices that? Manipulators, toxic people, people who use your neediness as fuel. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Epictetus said, "We should not wish for things to happen as we want, but accept how they happen." What was he saying? You need to build your own stability. Because when you depend on others to feel complete, you give away your power. And whoever gives away power becomes a hostage. First fatal mistake lonely men make. Living hostage to emotional neediness. You wake up with that emptiness. You grab your phone even before getting out of bed. You check messages, notifications, any sign that someone remembered you. And when there's nothing, the day already starts heavy. You try to fill that void with anything. Social media, series, alcohol, food, fleeting relationships, but nothing works. Because you are trying to fill from the outside what can only be built from the inside. It's like trying to fill a leaky cup. No matter how much you pour in, it will always be empty. The solution is not to find someone. The solution is to master yourself. When you learn to be okay alone, you stop accepting anything just to not be alone. And then you attract people who add, not who drain. Second mistake, neglecting daily discipline. When you live alone, no one pressures you if you woke up early. No one sees if you spent the day in bed. No one judges if you ate junk food or skipped the workout. And that's where self-sabotage begins. You wake up without a set time. You eat whatever whenever. You leave the house messy. You procrastinate all day. And when the night comes, you feel that weight. Another wasted day. And tomorrow you promise it will be different. But it's not. Because a promise without a system is just wishful thinking. Seneca said, "Discipline is the mother of success. Without discipline, you become a slave to your own impulses. You wake up when you feel like it, eat when you feel like it, work when you feel like it. And will is unstable. Today you have it, tomorrow you don't. Discipline is what keeps you standing when the will disappears. Create a sacred ritual. Every day, same time, same sequence. Wake up, train, eat right, work on your goals. Don't negotiate, no exception days. Because discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. When you have a system, you stop wasting energy deciding what to do, you just execute. Comment discipline if you understand that self-control is the only real freedom. Third mistake, ignoring the power of silence. Most people who live alone are afraid of silence. They turn on the TV, music, podcast, anything to have background noise, because in silence the real thoughts appear, the doubts, the fears, the insecurities, and no one wants to face that. But Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul is enriched by silence." Silence is not emptiness, it's where you truly know yourself. It's where your mind organizes, processes, creates. When you run from silence, you run from yourself. Reserve 20 minutes every day to be in total silence. No phone, no noise, no nothing, just you and your thoughts. At first, it will be uncomfortable. Your mind will scream, will want distraction. But with time, you will discover that clarity resides in silence, and clarity is power. Fourth mistake, underestimating physical self-care. When you live alone, it's easy to let go. No one is seeing if you have an unshaven beard, wrinkled clothes, a messy house, and you start to relax. You skip meals, sleep badly, stop working out, and the body demands a price. There is a direct connection between body and mind. When your body is neglected, your mind also is. You wake up without energy, without motivation, without the will to do anything. And then you enter the cycle. You don't take care of your body because you lack energy, and you lack energy because you don't take care of your body. Neuroscience has proven regular physical exercise increases the production of serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters of well-being, by 40%. When you exercise, you are not just taking care of your body, you are taking care of your mind, your disposition, your capacity to face the day. Start small, 20 minutes of exercise every day. It doesn't have to be a gym. It can be at home, it can be walking, it can be anything. But every day without exception. And in 21 days, you will feel the difference. More energy, more focus, more control. Fifth mistake, living stuck in the past. Loneliness is fertile ground for dwelling on grudges. You are alone and your mind starts to wander. That ex who cheated on you, that friend who disappointed you, that mistake you made 5 years ago, and you stay there, reliving, dwelling, punishing yourself. But Epictetus was clear. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The past has no power over you unless you give away that power. Every time you relive a grudge, you give your energy to something that no longer exists. And while you are stuck in the past, the present passes by. Forgiveness is not about the other person, it's about you. When you forgive, you let go. And when you let go, you free up energy to build the future. It doesn't mean forgetting, it means stopping carrying a weight that takes you nowhere. Sixth mistake, seeking external approval. Even living alone, some people live dependent on validation. They post on social media expecting likes. They send messages expecting an immediate reply. They measure their own value by how much others notice them. But Marcus Aurelius said, "The only opinion that matters is your own." When you seek external approval, you place your value in the hands of others. And then your peace depends on the mood of people who don't even know you well. Create your own value standard. Every day before sleeping, ask, would I be proud of myself? Would I respect this version of myself? If the answer is yes, the rest doesn't matter. If it's no, you know exactly what you need to change. Seventh mistake, living in immediacy. Loneliness can lead you to two paths. Either you use the time to build something solid, or you waste it on instant gratification. Netflix, delivery, porn, games, social media. Anything that gives you pleasure now without demanding effort. But Seneca warned, What is valuable requires time, patience, and discipline. When you live in immediacy, you create a superficial life, empty conquests, pleasures that last minutes but leave a void that lasts days. The rare man understands the long game. He knows that a real body is built over years, valuable skill is developed over months, solid character is forged over decades, and he is willing to invest time today to reap solid results tomorrow. Eighth mistake, neglecting the social circle. Living alone doesn't mean isolating yourself completely. There is a difference between productive solitude and toxic isolation. Productive solitude is when you choose to be alone to strengthen yourself. Toxic isolation is when you hide from the world out of fear. The Stoics understood, we are made for coexistence, not for total loneliness. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire, but had a select group of trusted people. People who challenged him for the better, who shared values, who offered real support. Assemble your circle. It doesn't have to be big, it needs to be solid. 3-4 people who truly know you, challenge you, support you, and cut out those who drain you. Toxic friendships, negative people, the envious. Better alone than in bad company is not a cliché, it's a survival strategy. Ninth mistake, failing to establish a clear purpose. Without a defined purpose, a lonely man easily gets lost, because there is no one pressuring him, no one asking what he did today, and you can spend months wandering without direction. Seneca said, live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever. You need a reason to wake up. It can't just be to survive. It has to be to build something, develop something, become something. Define today. What do I want to have achieved 1 year from now? Be specific. Body, career, skill, relationship, whatever it is, write it down. And every day you wake up with the question, does what I do today bring me closer to or further away from this goal? If it brings you closer, do it. If it moves you away, cut it out. 10th mistake, allowing pride to block learning. The lonely man sometimes falls into the trap of thinking he can solve everything alone. That asking for help is a weakness. That accepting advice is admitting defeat. And then he gets stuck in his own mistakes, repeating the same patterns without evolving. Seneca warned, he who wishes to learn must first acknowledge his ignorance. Humility is not weakness, it is intelligence. You don't know everything, no one does. And those who acknowledge this grow faster than those who pretend to know. Seek mentors, read books, take courses. Listen to those who have already gone through what you are going through. There is no shame in learning. Shame is staying in the same place for years out of pride, in not admitting you need help. 11th mistake. Underestimating the impact of uncontrolled emotions. Living alone amplifies unresolved emotions. Anger, sadness, fear. When you are alone, there is no one to distract you, to calm you down, to pull you out of the spiral. And if you don't control those emotions, they control you. Epictetus taught, no external thing can disturb you except the opinion you have about it. It's not what happens that destroys you, it's how you interpret it. Did someone ignore you? You can interpret it as personal rejection or as an occupied person. Same situation, two completely different emotions. Train emotional detachment. When you feel a strong emotion, stop, breathe, and ask, is this a fact or an interpretation? Most of the time it's an interpretation, and you can change the interpretation. 12th mistake, giving up at the first difficulty. Living alone is a daily battle. There are days when you wake up without any will. There are days when everything goes wrong. There are days when loneliness weighs so much that you just want to give up on everything. And most people give up. They abandon goals, return to old habits, surrender to complacency. But Marcus Aurelius made it clear, difficulty strengthens the strong man. Every obstacle is a test. Do you give up or do you overcome? Do you return to comfort or do you advance even with fear? This choice defines who you will be 5 years from now. The rare man does not give up. He can retreat, he can adjust strategy, he can rest, but he does not give up, because he understands that every difficulty he overcomes alone builds a layer of armor that no one can take away. And now comes the bonus mistake, the number 13 mistake that almost no one recognizes, ignoring the power of the mind to rewrite your own story. Most people live stuck in a negative mental narrative. I am not good enough. I always fail. I am destined to be alone, and these stories become self-fulfilling prophecies. But Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this and you will find strength. You can rewrite your internal story every day. It is not self-deception. It is taking command of your own mind. Every day before sleeping, review your thoughts. What negative narratives dominated today? Are they the truth or just fear? And what can you do differently tomorrow?" This simple practice reprograms your brain. In weeks, you will realize that your mind stops sabotaging you and starts strengthening you. You got here because you decided that you will no longer live at the mercy of loneliness. You decided that you deserve to transform isolation into a fortress, and that is rare. Most people prefer to continue distracting themselves, complaining, waiting for someone to come and save them. Marcus Aurelius faced wars. Epictetus endured slavery. Seneca survived deadly intrigues. None of them had an easy life, but they all had something in common: the capacity to organize their own mind before trying to organize the world. Now you have two options. Option 1, continue using distraction to escape from yourself, filling loneliness with noise, with random people, with anything that prevents you from looking within. And a year from now, be exactly where you are today, alone but without strength, isolated but without purpose. Option 2, start now to transform loneliness into power. Take one of these mistakes and correct it today. Create one sacred ritual. Define one clear goal. Let go of one negative narrative. Start small, but start. If you chose option 2, comment here which of the 13 mistakes you will attack first. When you declare publicly, you create a real commitment. And commitment generates transformation. And if you want to master your emotions and build unshakable self-control, the next video will show you the 7 Stoic techniques to never again be hostage to anger, anxiety, or fear. Techniques that work in any situation, any chaos. Living alone is not a curse. It's an opportunity to forge a mind that no one can break, a character that no one can corrupt, a peace that no one can steal, but only if you stop running and start building.